All right, folks, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. This is how you contact the show. Show them, give them the information they're looking for. That number is a 24/7 right here. Does not go off. And there is the email address, all the social media ways to follow the show. That being said, how did we get here? Now, we talked about that just a minute ago, how we got here. And let's look at, I had one picture here that I wanted to go with, Josh. And it may not be available. No, I don't have it. Go ahead and put the Democrats up. Again, that number 3. Let's go with that number 3 as we finish up here. Now, Democrats block Republicans from saving infants born alive from botched abortions. There are articles everywhere. But the interesting thing, the 3 Democrats that voted with Republicans, white males. Women, Elizabeth Warren, Carmel. Let's change her to Carmel. Not Carmela. Carmel. She is not a sister. She's not a sister. She was not smoking spliffs with Snoop Dogg 2 years in college, 2 years before Snoop released his first album. She is not, her mommy and daddy are not African American. So we're going to call her Carmel Harris. And Kirsten Gillibrand, you remember the president identified her. She would come to Trump Tower. She'd do anything. She'd beg, do anything for a campaign contribution. Remember? The president said that. And just keep in mind, Kirsten Gillibrand, the senator from New York, has a big pharmaceutical fundraiser plan with Pfizer, right? Is it Pfizer? Look it up. Big pharmaceutical fundraiser for Kirsten Gillibrand with Pfizer Pharmaceuticals, right? I think, look it up. Trump told you she'd do anything for a campaign. She got mad. Oh, yeah, she'd come to my office. She'd do anything for a campaign contribution. Look up her fundraiser with Big Pharma. But there's Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, Kirsten Gillibrand, all saying no to Ben Sasse, okay? Ben Sasse, and the Born Alive Abortion Survivor Protection Act. Voting no. It received 53 to 44. It was 53 to 44, 7 votes shy of the required 60. 7 votes shy of required 60. Now, the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Act, I mean, I don't know how these candidates, the bill would mandate doctors attempt to save born alive infants instead of allowing them to die. The bill amends the federal criminal code to require any health care practitioner who is present when a child is born alive following an abortion or attempted abortion to, 1, exercise the same degree of care as reasonably provided to any other born child alive at the same gestation age. Now that means once a child is born, okay? So if you are in the hospital, or someone's in the hospital and they're giving birth to a child, once that child is born, this is a baby born that somebody wants, there's a level of care that's required ethically, morally, and by law. That's required. A practitioner is required to care for that baby in a certain way after birth. This would require that practitioner that's there for an abortion to change from being the abortionist, the killer, the murderer, to the lifesaver and the caregiver. And they say no. That means that as soon as any child born alive at the same gestation age exercise the same degree of care and responsibility or reasonable provided to any other child born. 2, ensure that such child is immediately admitted to a hospital, reads the legislation. The term born alive, the bill explains, means the complete expulsion or extraction from his or her mother at any stage of development, which after such expulsion or extraction breathes or has a beating heart. I'm sorry, it took just a bit for me to, I had to take a little break there myself. 3 Democrats voted yes. The only 3 Democrats, Bob Casey Jr., Democrat for Pennsylvania. Now, I want to tell you before you cheer for Bob Casey Jr., Democrat of Pennsylvania. He just won re-election against Lou Bartoletta. Lou Bartoletta in PA ran against him for Senate. Just won re-election. He is safe. Now, there's a couple reasons here. This does not make Bob Casey Jr. the honorable man that he wants you to believe he is. He's a low-life piece of garbage. He is. He is a piece of garbage. He is not his father. Remember, Bob Casey Sr., former governor of Pennsylvania, was taken off the list of speakers in New York, okay, by then former governor of Arkansas, Bill Clinton, at the DNC convention because he would not remove his pro-life comments from his speech. That's who Bob Casey Sr. was. This guy, Bob Casey Jr., senator from Pennsylvania, don't cheer for this guy. Don't clap. Don't send him a thank you message. He did not do this for no other reason as Pennsylvania is very pro-life. Oh, yeah, very pro-life. They are an old blue state. The Democrats can't figure out why they lost Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is an old blue state. Pennsylvania is an old blue union state. Pennsylvania has, but the people that are the old blue union Pennsylvania people there, they are pro-life. They're good people. They're hard-working people. They are moral and ethical for the most part. That's how Trump won. So Pennsylvania, Senator Bob Casey is safe, and they wanted to pull this issue off. They needed this thing off of election 2020. They could not have this in Pennsylvania in 2020, period. Okay? Second, Joe Manchin of West Virginia. Done deal. What does that mean? Joe may be pro-life. I don't know. Joe may be an okay guy. Nah, he's a Democrat. He can't be. But the one thing I know for sure, he may be safe. He may have 6 years between now and running again. But he votes no on this bill, he could pack up and leave. Never would he get reelected again in the state of West Virginia. So that's the bottom line with Joe. I know you're saying to me, but there's other things that Joe Manchin could have voted for to end his career, or he did vote for that should have ended his career. I'm just going to tell you now, people of West Virginia, this was an end. This ended his career if he voted no. Senator Doug Jones, Democrat from Alabama, voted yes. Okay? And he voted yes. He is the one in a special election beat the old judge down there. What's his name? I forget his name. The Republican. Bad candidate, but anyhow. Doug Jones voted yes. And he's hoping that this yes will sell him as the moderate Democrat that doesn't always side or walk the line. This is the Alabama prayer. This is the Democrat Alabama prayer of going back to Washington as a Democrat in an actual regular election instead of a special election against Roy Moore. By the way, what happened to all those lawsuits against Roy Moore and all of those Me Too moments and him touching girls at the shopping center when they were 14? What happened to that and dating them? Anyhow, Senator Doug Jones from Alabama, this is their hope that they could get the people of Alabama to vote for him in 2020 when Alabama, or when he runs again. I don't know if he's up in 2020, but getting them in Alabama to vote for him as the person that, hey, you know what, we could trust Doug to do the right thing when it comes time to do the right thing. But Nancy would like him back as a Democrat from Alabama to vote for all those radical things that she needs done. So those are your three Democrats, okay? Headlines everywhere except this morning. Not one mention. Now, if it happened on CNN, now I watch 4 a.m. to 4:15. I watch Fox News 4 a.m. to 4:15. I watch CNN 4 a.m. to 4:15. That means my first 30 minutes at 4 a.m. is on TV, and then I take about 30 minutes to read articles. Then I hit 5 o'clock and I watch MSNBC. I don't watch Fox anymore throughout the day. I don't want to hear what they have to say. Then I watch MSNBC at 5 a.m. for 15 minutes. CNN for the top of 5 o'clock, see if anything changes there for about 10 minutes. Then I switch it back to MSNBC so I can be right there when Morning Joe and Minka come on to try to continue destroying this country. That being said, if they did it, you know, and hid this story at 7:55, 6:55, whatever, okay? A lot of viewership drops after 7:30, 6:30, 5:30. It picks back up top of the hour. If they did this story anywhere in those networks, I missed it. I missed it. I cannot see. Now, I told you this morning, my first segment was on the deep state media and everything they wanted to put on to push the president in Vietnam off the radar. I was not wrong, but this is this is a win-win for them. This is killing two birds, oh, no pun intended, with one stone. Push their news cycle this week, pushing with Michael Cohen, pushing the president off the news cycle. Their news cycle this week they've created, pushing this right here, letting you know that very simply, see, America, I said, you see, if you would sit this morning and you would read this sentence, the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act, okay? You have America saying, okay, what's wrong with that? How did we get here? What is wrong with that? Then you have, then somebody says, yeah, but the Born Alive, I mean, they write that just to make, then say, no, let me read you this. The bill amends the Federal Criminal Code to require any healthcare practitioner who is present when a child is born alive following an abortion or attempted abortion to, one, exercise the same degree of care as reasonably provided to any other child born alive at the same gestation age. Period. America is blown away by this. The deep state media doesn't want you to know that they're okay with this murder. Democrats are okay with this murder. Democrat candidates for presidents are okay with the level of this murder. And don't forget, folks, if they're okay, see, Trump got it right in the tweet, babies, okay? Some might be out there saying the unborn, he didn't say babies. These are babies, okay? Not that they're not babies when they're unborn, but I'm just saying. The president got it right in that tweet. In fact, we'll close this segment with that. Let's go to the president's tweet again. Number one, Senate Democrats just voted against legislation to prevent the killing of newborn infant children. Newborn infant children. The Democrat position on abortion is now so extreme that they don't mind executing babies after birth. When they're born and their heart is beating and they're breathing, they execute them. You might not like the words. They kill these kids. Throw them in a trash can. I'm sorry. Yes, they throw them in a trash can. There's been stories and reports of being thrown in the trash can alive. How did we get here? Number two, this will be remembered as one of the most shocking votes in the history of Congress. If there is one thing we should all agree on, it's protecting the lives of innocent babies. I want to close with this segment saying this, and pay attention to it. You know, in the 2018 election, 2018, the deep state media tried to lead the people of this country to believe the reason the Democrats took back control, this is not true, but they tried to lead you to believe the reason the Democrats took back control of the House of Representatives is because the American people trusted them more with health care. The American people trusted them more with pre-existing conditions. The American people trusted them more, the Democrats, to handle health care issues for them. Really? The Democrats, keep in mind, the people in the media keeps telling you you trust to handle your health care. You trust to handle pre-existing conditions. You trust to handle prescription drug costs. You trust to go after the insurance companies. The people they say you trust in the time of your need and your health care and determine whether you live or die, or if we should sustain your life and if it's worth keeping, are the same ones that voted no. And I'm telling you, if they're okay with murder on this side of the womb, what are they okay with? And what will stop them from doing anything else where your life is concerned? And you trust them? Don't think for 1 minute 2018 is because the American people trusted Democrats more with health care. Not true. I'm your host, BKP. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We got a couple more things and we got to wrap up our day.